Hello, Doug.
Hi. Welcome to my dressing room.
Oh, can we get a tour?
Yeah, come on in. My luxurious dressing room here with one working light, but that's all we need.
Was there something in your makeup kit that you can't live without?
No. Well, yeah. Usually it's just deodorant. This is just happen to be speed stick, but anything that'll keep me clean. The other thing I can't live without is flare ice.
For a brow pencil, man, I won't leave home without it.
You never know when you're going to need a mustache. So sometimes you need an emergency mustache.
The Swiss Army knife.
Toothbrush, toothpaste, and mouthwash. Always. Fresh. You don't want to offend your fellow actors on stage.
Do you have a lot of kissing scenes in this show?
I have zero kissing scenes in this show. Still important.
Good.
All of our kissing is in the wings.
Hi, everybody. I'm with the cast of One Man Two Guvnors Backstage, and they're going to share with you some of their favorite tips and tricks for makeup and hair. Michelle has a pin curl on top and is doing braids. It's a cute little combo of two different wig prepping techniques that I showed her, and it seems to be working, yes?
Yeah, it's great for like very fine and very slippery hair.
Because I'm too lazy to pin curl my whole head.
I am too, I can't.
It doesn't stay if I pin curl it. It does nothing because it's too fine.
I really want to give a shout out to my daily, which is Thrive. And this is Buildable Blur. The Thrive products, you buy a product and then they donate money back to a foundation that helps women who are trying to get back in the workforce.
We were talking about the heat and how makeup is not staying on very well for some people, and there were some concerns. What is it that you recommend?
We've been hearing a lot of people talking about this because it's been hot as Hades. We've all kind of agreed that having a good primer is really important. I use the Benefit, it's a little teeny one because I ran out of my big one, called the Pore Professional. I really like it because it's moderately priced and it works really well.
I've been using the Dr. Brandt Luminizer primer. There's also a drugstore dupe of that called Maybelline Baby Skin.
Yeah.
Baby skin?
Yeah, baby skin.
Baby skin. How about you, Katie? Got a primer? You spit?
I am the wrong person. I use decoupage and...
So, and this is interesting because it was like primer, right? Then I use, because I have really red, pinkish skin, so I use like a color corrector too after. And then I use my foundation and then put everything on, including your powder, and then use the setting spray. That was the other big question, is like, do you put the powder on after the setting spray? But no, I put the powder on and it seems to really work.
And setting spray recommendation.
You have a fancy one.
Mine is the Too Faced Hangover RX.
Hangover RX. And I really like the Target brand Pixie Makeup Fixing Mist.
My makeup process is pretty boring, especially for this show. But I mean, I can tell you what the most important thing is in my makeup kit, for sure, which is this deodorant. Because it gets darn stanky in here. And my Dove's Men Care hair care, because you never know when you're going to need that. Let's see what else we've got exciting in here. Extra sponges. You never know when you're going to need a mustache. So sometimes you need an emergency mustache. And I've played Edna Turnblad enough to know that sometimes you need a wig cap. You never know when you're going to need one of those either.
So you just keep it in there?
Yeah, I do. I just keep an extra wig cap, and sometimes you need some green superfood. Put this in some water. Saw someone give this to a fish once.
So you did mention to me that you don't like to eat a lot before shows. Is
Yeah.
that kind of your alternative nutrient?
I have had this once. Someone gave this to me, and it's in there as an emergency. It's also mostly in there as a joke. I don't like to eat much before a show. I mean, especially this show where I'm eating a lot during the show. Peanut butter toast. It's like I'm 5 years old, but that's about all I can stomach before any show.
The Swiss Army knife.
For what?
Used it just seconds ago to trim a wayward thread off my thing, and open bottles and open cans, and you know, that occasional co-star who goes a little too far.
Do you always keep that in there?
I always keep it. It's part of my kit.
That's awesome. Clipping fingernails too?
Clipping fingernails. Have the fingernail kit too. Yes, that's all the little manicure kit.
Got a whole bag here. It's got everything from Tums, Airborne, tea, Advil, hand sanitizer, Band-Aids, anything you could need. A lot of times when you get a cold, you want to take an antihistamine, but if you're performing, you don't, because it dries you out and you might actually hurt your voice. So.
That's good to know. Thank you. See, you were very entertaining.
That was interesting after all.
Interesting and informative.
This is called a shoehorn. Most people don't know what this is. It exists. If you've ever gone to a store and had someone show you how to put on a pair of shoes with this thing, this is a shoehorn. So for me, it just means the back of my shoes don't bend. I also don't have to unlace them all the way, but I've got about 6 of these in my house, everywhere. Drives my wife crazy.
Do you always keep them in your kit? Like, do you
I do. Actually, I do.
Katie, do middle schoolers smell?
Yes.
Yes. It's something, if you teach middle school drama, it's a big issue. It's like you've got to teach these kids that deodorant is okay, because some of them have never worn it before. We were talking last summer during the graduate about wearing non-aluminum deodorant just because it's better for you. We've gone through a bunch of different brands. Schmidt's, which I thought didn't work very well at all.
Tom's, which is a little too wet and doesn't dry.
And so now both of us are using Native, which is another non-aluminum deodorant, but it's not an antiperspirant, so just note you're gonna sweat. It helps with odor and all that, but not perspiration. This works really well. I was amazed.
This is the one that Alicia Teeter told me about. She
Is it the same one that I have?
Yeah.
This is like incredible. And it's like,
I have mine in boyish beige.
boyish beige. And we have ours in whatever that sexy red is. But
like
this works
fiery red or keep
great.
it red. This is Chris. Now Chris is playing a comical 87-year-old. And what's so cool is I didn't even have to show him my old age makeup tutorial because he already knew how to apply all this.
This is over the top old age that I'm doing right now because that's part of the comedy, is that he's just really, really old. This is all Ben Nye. This is actually an old age color wheel, but most of what I'm doing here could be done with your standard character shadow, character highlight. I've also got some gray here. The original base that I put on was just my standard base mixed with a little gray. You can spend a bunch of money on a sallow color. I dotted the foundation all over my face, and then I went in and dotted some gray, and then I just blended the whole thing in.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a nice clean way to get at it. I had a friend who used to mix her colors right onto the makeup counter, and I always used to joke that she was just going to take her face and rub it in there, but no, that's not necessary. Just dot your face and then mix it all in.
I'm a minimalist.
Well, that's good. Some people are minimalist. What eyeliner brand do you use?
Whatever I happen to find in the bottom of my purse. I got fancy hair wax.
Okay.
I think it's it's Bumble and Bumble.
Oh, that is fancy.
Yeah, it's new now that my hair is all gone. High Shine Low Hold Pomade.
The Anastasia line.
Or some people say Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Yes.
But for a brow pencil, man, I won't leave home without it.
What makes that one better than other ones that you've used?
You know what? Because if you have red hair, I think it's really hard to find a good color.
I also I don't carry this, but I buy makeup removal pads, just so you can get whatever powder off your face at the end of the night. Because if you forget, sometimes you wake up the next morning and you've got zits, which you don't really want.
What makeup do you like?
I don't use makeup. I just use a little bit of a Kryolan non-sweat powder. Just kind of take the shine off. That's pretty much it.
So this is Brian. He's playing multiple characters, so he has some facial hair changes.
I do, yeah. And I gotta be honest, I'm not a huge fan of spirit gum. So I was in a part where I had to wear a mustache, and I kept having to clean the mustache every night afterwards. And one night, I over-cleaned it. And so at one point, literally no spirit gum was sticking to the mustache. So the mustache is here, and then about halfway through the scene, it goes.
The spirit gum remover was still on there. There was some residue, so the spirit gum wasn't sticking. Yeah.
Correct.
And a lot of people also aren't good about cleaning it regularly, and it gets really thick and flaky and hard to work with.
I'm using toupee tape. I think this is one of the best kept secrets in any kind of facial hair for like theater. So you can get a couple different kinds of toupee tapes. This is just a traditional strip that you can get, and you just cut off what you need. You can also get them in strips that have peels on both sides. I cut it down the middle so I can conserve it. And what you do is just apply it to the back and peel it off, goes on. And the cool part is it doesn't hurt to take off, and it comes off quick. And considering that I have 2 to 3 different mustaches I wear throughout the show, I need to be able to take off mustaches quickly and not have to worry about reapplying makeup and all that stuff.
Kind of like double-sided tape. I have had actors who tried the toupee tape technique and it wasn't working for them, so it could be that you're less oily than they are.
Possibly. Of course, it's always going to depend on skin type, right?
Is there anything about wigs that you've learned over the years that you want to share?
That I don't like to use them. They're hot. They trap in the heat. Anytime I can use my own hair, I really prefer it. But for this character, the hair I think is a big part of it, and having a lot of it to fly around.
Oh my gosh, the best moment in this show, I think, is when Chris Molly falls down the stairs. And I don't get to see it, but I know it's happening because I'm listening to the audience just completely explode.
Doug is kind of suicidal with his body, and Chris is even more suicidal with his body, especially with him doing the fall.
You should come and see One Man Two Guvnors at Palo Alto Players. That's on until June the 30th.
What's the funniest moment in the show?
There are too many. There are too many.
If you like funny things, come see the show.
It consistently makes me laugh over and over again, even though I've seen it 100 times, because these people are very much in the moment and taking what's happening on stage and turning it into more funny stuff. So
Troy's so nice.
I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. You gotta come watch him grab me by the you-know-what.
I grab him by the you-know-what.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ball smacks.
There's a lot of ball
There's a lot of
smacking
that
and
going
grabbing.
on, yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to Gwyneth's YouTube channel. Great content.